Yes, Australia was a long way from the golden age of Hollywood. But there were plenty of Aussies in Hollywood, more than I could possibly realise. Many of them sadly forgotten, but in this third episode, I'm going to bring these battling Aussies out to centre stage. Now I also realise that the third instalment is usually the weakest of any trilogy. I'm thinking The Godfather Part 3, The Hangover 3, Austin Powers Goldmember, Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles, Taken 3, Avatar, Fire and Ash? Why? There are exceptions though, where the third film was better than the first two. I mean, they do exist, don't get me wrong. Sometimes they work. Especially Oh God, You Devil. Clearly the superior film of the Oh God series. I can only hope that my video is as good as Oh God, You Devil.
Let's stop bullshitting and get down to business.
Okay, fine. Let's pick up where part 2 ended after looking at Ron Randall, Ori Kelly, Michael Pate, Mae Bush, Coral Brown and Chips Rafferty. Let us continue. Now another name that came up was Frank Thring. Now of course I've heard of Frank Thring, but I've always associated him with Australian movies and television and commercials, but he did do Hollywood movies. So let's talk about him. Frank's actual name was Francis William Thring. His father was born as William Francis Thring, but known as Francis William Thring III, or F.W. Thring. That was his father, who also made movies. Very confusing. Frank's first appearance was in The Sentimental Bloke, which was directed by his father. Okay, Frank was born in 1926 in Melbourne and was an actor. He did stage acting, which led to England. He worked with Laurence Olivier, Vivian Leigh and Orson Welles. Frank just scraped into the golden age of Hollywood, appearing in the 1958 film The Vikings. That's also Tony Curtis, Kirk Douglas and Janet Leigh.
You shall join Ragnar in the pit. I want all here to see the reward for such defiance.
Your Majesty.
Another little film he did was Ben-Hur in 1959, starring Charlton Heston.
I present my son to you, my old friend Pontius Pilate, young Adius.
Before you came to this city, my horses always won.
Magnificent horses, sir. Extremely swift.
Yes, but not swift enough to defeat you. Tell me, you come from Judea?
Yes, sir.
I hear that the climate is difficult to live in.
Not for Judea.
Ben-Hur is probably the most well-known film that Frank appeared in. After that, he appeared in King of Kings, which also had Ron Randall in it.
Lucius, take this man to the dungeon.
And another big film, he seemed to be in big sort of period movies. The other one was El Cid, also with Charlton Heston. But I think that was it for Hollywood. What did Frank do after that? He mostly did TV work in Australia, TV movies, TV shows. For the rest of his career, he was the evil Dr. Stark in Skippy, the Bush Kangaroo.
Mr. Hammond? Well, if it isn't my old friend Skippy.
You get away from her!
It should be some consolation for you to know that Skippy will be in excellent hands. Come on, my little beauty.
You all right, Doctor?
Yes!
It's amazing. Frank went from starting a chariot race to getting beaten up by Skippy the Bush Kangaroo in a matter of 10 years. Amazing. What range. He also did a lot of commercials and he was a very flamboyant personality, Frank.
The first word is television. Appalling. Hero.
Oh, me in a toga.
New. Well, Nilex moccasin.
The things one does, the things one believes.
Modern. Nilex moccasin.
Do you sometimes find your toilet, dare I say it, flush with embarrassment?
Tonight, we hope that you get what you deserve, because last night you didn't deserve what you got. Pussycat Massage Parlor. Kinky! Kinky! Kinky!
Nilex moccasin comes in basic black, and all the other colors as well. Frank, would you please stop talking about Nilex moccasin? Anyone would think you were being paid to do it. Good heavens, aren't I?
Geez, he just wanted to talk about Nilex moccasins. I mean, give him a break. Nothing wrong with that. So, Frank, like Michael Pate, returned to Australia to live the rest of his life, appearing in films and TV, The Man from Hong Kong,
Thank you. I don't smoke.
Mad Dog Morgan,
Dr. Hagny, would you please flay off Morgan's beard for me?
You can't be serious, sir.
Who is the senior officer in this district?
You are, sir.
Thank you.
he was a regular familiar face.
I'll meet you. There.
He was the King of Moomba in 1982.
How does this compare with other great roles in your life, in some of the Hollywood extravaganzas? It seems bigger than Ben-Hur. You're just sitting here like this.
Well, I mean, the Hollywood films are almost as disorganized as Moomba, so...
And he was also the collector in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Let's have a look at that.
Call it Underworld. That's where Buttertown gets its energy.
What, oil, natural gas?
Pigs.
You mean pigs like those?
That's right.
Bullshit.
Pig shit.
What?
Pig shit. The lights, the motors, the vehicles, all run by a high-powered gas called methane. Methane comes from pig shit.
Nobody says pig shit quite like Frank Thring. Now, like Michael Pate, Frank was in The Howling 3, The Marsupials.
In your first scene, you'll be gang-raped by 4 monsters. Oh. I like a person with vivaciousness. She'll be fine, Donnie.
Frank was he was almost like Australia's Orson Welles with the commercials and all that sort of thing. There is a video on YouTube of Frank in St Kilda showing us this plaque that's dedicated to a skating rink or something and his father, because it's the building where his father worked. And it's really bad quality, so I'll just put it here.
The council has erected a plaque dedicating his services to the Australian film industry.
I just headed down to St Kilda, the spot where Frank Thring was showing us the plaque for his father. Mostly the same in the video, but here, of course, Frank Thring's father, F.W. Thring, had his movie studio here. I think it was a studio. Better check that. But he died in 1935, and after that it became St Moritz, and the plaque is basically honouring St Moritz, skating rink, ballroom, and it does acknowledge Frank Thring's father. St Moritz from 1939 to 1982, this was the site of St Moritz, Melbourne's favourite ice skating rink. Before that, it was FD Studios, its name derived from the initials of its famous thespian owner, Frank Thring. I did read somewhere that there was a fire in the early 1980s. A fire in this building, and I think it was destroyed. I will correct that if that's wrong, but anyway. Back to the studio, I guess. So, Frank passed away at the age of 68 in 1994. So there are a few Hollywood movies in there. Good work, Frank. Another name, Annette Kellerman, who I've definitely heard of. I've always thought of Annette as a swimwear designer and champion athlete, swimmer. But yeah, she did do movies. She did do movies, silent movies, for a little while. Annette was known as a perfectly formed woman. Let's have a look. Sure, I'll go along with that. Annette was born in Marix, Marrickville, New South Wales in 1886. As a young child, Annette had rickets disease in her legs, which is caused by a deficiency in vitamin D or calcium. This meant she had to wear metal braces on her legs due to her legs not being strong enough to keep her standing. Her parents sent her off for swimming lessons to help strengthen her legs, and that led to her being a world-class champion swimmer. Annette brought her swimming talent to Broadway in 1911 in the production Undine. She performed a water ballet on a stage in a glass tank at the New York Hippodrome in 1917. Her film career included many films that are now lost. Here is a list of her films, which you can't see anymore. Maybe there are photographs and stills. She did a nude scene in A Daughter of the Gods, the first person to do a nude scene in Hollywood or the world. She helped get rid of a law in America that demanded that women wear Victorian neck-to-knee costumes while swimming in a public place. Wow, they would have sunk like a stone.
Well, the last 3 years, I've been trooping all over Europe, and now I've started a novel. Of course, I don't think that'll ever see the light of day, because nowadays, a novel has to have so much sex appeal. And I don't know a thing about that. Now, what am I going to do? First of all, I'm going camping for 4 whole weeks. I'm not going to wear any clothes.
Annette did her last film in 1924. During the Second World War, Annette came back to Australia and worked for the Red Cross in Queensland, and returning to her old show business roots, entertained troops stationed in the state. There's a film based on Annette's life made by MGM, starring Esther Williams portraying Annette, whom herself was a swimming champion before becoming an actress.
Just a minute, miss. What do you think you're doing?
Officer, this is Annette Kellerman, the famous Australian swimmer. She's about to embark on a 20-mile swim.
Not in that outfit.
Well, you don't expect me to go 20 miles in one of those things, do you?
Women weren't allowed to show their skin at all. So Annette really pushed hard to change that, and she was very successful. Anyway, it doesn't matter if it's loosely based on her life, it's a very entertaining movie. Annette, for years, ran a health food shop in Los Angeles. She returned to live in Australia, another one in 1961 on the Gold Coast. There you go. Coming back to Australia. Annette Kellerman died in 1975 on the 6th of November, half a century ago. Yeah, sure, Annette Kellerman. Definitely a role model, definitely. Somebody mentioned Merle Oberon, who was an actress in the 1930s through to the 1960s. The film I know her from is Wuthering Heights with Laurence Olivier.
Why can't you rescue me, Heathcliff?
Kathy, come with me now.
Where?
Anywhere.
And live in haystacks? And steal our food from the marketplaces? No, Heathcliff. That's not what I want.
Now, she claimed that she was born in Hobart, Tasmania, all of her career. She said that she was an Australian. And the documents were lost in a fire, apparently. In 1978, Merle was invited to Hobart to attend a reception. During the reception, Merle admitted that she wasn't born in Tasmania, that she was actually born in Mumbai, India. There is a report, according to an article I found on Golden Globes, right after she admitted that she wasn't born in Australia, she collapsed. It doesn't say that in any other article I've read about this incident. Merle passed away a year later in 1979. But there you go, Merle Oberon, a pretend Australian. Do I drink to her? It's a little bit sad though that a person from India felt they had to lie about where they were born. They had to say they were from this other Western style country like Australia. And she even, I think, lightened her skin a little bit. Different times. So it's sort of a funny story, but not really. I'll drink to her anyway. Merle Oberon, pretend Australian working in the golden age of Hollywood. I must really like beer. Okay, more to get through, running out of beer. Ena Gregory was mentioned. She was in movies during the 1930s. She was born in St Leonards, New South Wales. Ena moved to the US as a teenager with her parents. Ena started acting in Hollywood movies in the 1920s. The only movie I can find a clip from is Short Kilts, 1924 with Stan Laurel. Just happened to be in my collection. When Ena's career wasn't going well, she decided to change her name to Marion Douglas, and it was even announced, it was in the newspapers, changing my name, Marion Douglas. A combination of Mary and Douglas, named after these famous people. So her first film with her new name was Shepherd of the Hills in 1928. Can't find a clip of that. So Marion did another 7 or so films before retiring from the film industry and going on to be a real estate agent. So Ena, or Marion, died in 1993, definitely worthy. Some people commented on Marie Law. She did not do Hollywood movies. In her filmography, all I saw was British films. She would belong to a different video. The same goes for Esme Cannon. Some people mentioned her. She only did British films.
That's right, I ain't Petty.
Huh? Anything you say, Bluey.
I don't know. John Mellion, I guess. He was in On the Beach, shot in Melbourne.
What's it like in town?
Everybody's dead, I guess. My folks are. I didn't look much after I saw a few.
He was in The Sundowners, shot in New South Wales. Both Hollywood films, but, you know, mainly Australian films. The one about the cars in Paris and Crocodile Dundee. The best beer is Vic beer, yeah, he did that ad.
Matter of fact, I got it now. Victoria Bitter.
We've got another name, Sylvia Bremer, who was another Australian during the silent era in Hollywood. She was born in 1897 in Sydney. Sylvia was a stage actress who tried her luck in the US in 1914. She travelled there with her new husband, I think, who was 20 years older than her. She got a role in a stage production in Boston, and her husband returned to Australia without her. I think that's right. There's not a lot of clear information about Sylvia. She did a lot of films in the 1910s and the 1920s. There's a clip from the film The Robes of Sin from 1924. I could show you that. That's the best clip I could find. Sylvia did one film in the 1930s called Too Many Parents. Now somebody has uploaded the entire movie to YouTube and the quality is not even watchable. It looks like this. I'll reduce it so you can sort of see something. But
From a laugh. I happen to be the actor in the sketch.
Actor? A ham flat on your back until I picked you up. No! Don't interrupt, sweet. It isn't polite. Out of the gutter.
I think, what's the point of uploading something if it's going to look that bad? I've never, just let go. Alright, move on. Sylvia Bremer died at the age of 45 in 1943 of a heart attack. Short life, another short life. Sylvia Bremer. How many more are there? It's incredible. More Australians, Enid and Marjorie Bennett. Let's start with Enid. She was born in York, Western Australia. Enid was an actress who toured Australia in plays. She went to America and performed on Broadway. She must have been pretty good because she got a film role not long after. These are her films here. It looks like Enid was a pretty big movie star from what I'm reading. She played Maid Marian in the 1922 film of Robin Hood. Douglas Fairbanks as Robin. It was one of the most expensive movies of the 1920s, and it was a massive hit. That's okay then. It was the first Hollywood movie to have a premiere. It's really good. I love silent movies. They need more love. Enid acted in films in the 1930s but got fewer and fewer roles. She was a clerk in the 1941 film The Big Store with the Marx Brothers, and when I read that, I thought, oh, please be the scene where Harpo cuts that woman's dress. Please, I'd love to show that bit because it's hilarious. Yes, that was Enid, behind the desk, the clerk. Enid passed away in 1969, aged 75. Here's to Enid. Oh. How many more to go? This is incredible. Enid had a sister called Marjorie Bennett, who was in a lot of movies in Hollywood, but mainly really small roles. Uncredited roles as well, bit roles.
It's lovely, dear.
And only £1. We can get at least 3 for it.
Easily. I'll go make some tea.
I could do with a cup.
Right.
I have a lot of films that Marjorie appeared in, so though her movies are more known to me than probably Enid's, but Enid had the bigger career. Marjorie actually appeared in 2 Charlie Chaplin films.
My own beloved.
I beg your pardon. Whom did you wish to see?
Madame Grunet?
This way, please. Just the man I want to see.
How thrilling.
Margaret, it's so good to be home. Look at you. You're such a lady. You've come home such a beautiful lady.
Here we are, Miss Allenby.
Oh, thank you so much, Mrs. Bergdorf. Mr. Allenby will be so pleased. They're our very own children, you know.
I know.
Hello, Miss Locke. I got one for you. Miss Locke likes to walk in the park with Andrew.
Also, the Jerry Lewis film The Family Jewels. I think that's Marjorie in the back seat there. Come on, Jerry. She was in 2 Chaplin films. Back seat. So that's Marjorie Bennett, who passed away in 1982. If I raise my glass to Harry Allen, I can definitely raise my glass to Marjorie Bennett. Okay, another name that came up, Louise Lovely, who was also in silent movies. She was born in Paddington, New South Wales. She had success in Australia as an actress and moved to America to replicate that success. She did these films here. They're mostly lost movies. Not sure how successful she was, but she had a go, and there you go, another Australian in the silent era. Incredible. Louise died in 1980. Louise. Okay, there's more. This is Mary Maguire did some Hollywood films during the 1930s. She was born in Melbourne in 1919. Mary began acting in the Charles Chevelle film Heritage, released in 1935.
Father, if the country and our men really need our sacrifices today, there will still be women pioneers.
Biddy.
She did another Australian film called The Flying Doctors in 1937. Then Mary's whole family moved to the United States with the help of fellow Aussie director John Farrow. Mary got an interview with the casting director of Warner Brothers. Mary did a few Hollywood films and then went on to England to make British films for the rest of her career, which ended in 1942.
Please take his advice and go with David.
This very minute, old boy.
You two seem to think that truth is more melodramatic than fiction, but it never is.
Don't you realize that these people mean what they say? They've already killed a friend of yours, murdered him just to show you.
It's not really clear why Mary's career ended. I'm not sure. There's a book written by Michael Adams on the life of Mary Maguire called The Amazing Story of Forgotten Hollywood Star Mary Maguire. I haven't read it. It probably sheds some light on that. Mary died in 1974 at the age of 55. It seems she had an alcohol problem too, so let's drink to Mary Maguire. Well done, Mary. Is my beer going down my throat coming up on the microphone? Probably. Okay, this one's a bit I don't know. Cecil Kellaway was born in South Africa but came to Australia in 1921. He did a lot of theatre here throughout the 1920s and 30s. He did films like The Hayseeds in 1933.
Here you are. Now sit down and read and have a nice quiet Sunday afternoon.
Where's Miss Specs? How can I read without Miss Specs?
Poppy,
Yes, Mum?
where's your dad's specs?
I don't know, Mum. They're not in here. Are they out here somewhere? They're on his head, Mum.
So they are. Who put them there?
It Isn't Done, 1937, and Mr. Chedworth steps out in 1939. So he was in Australia working for, I think, about 15 years. He ended up in Hollywood and had a huge career having small roles in big films. One of my favourites is I Married a Witch from 1942. That's such a great movie. That's another one of my recommendations, I Married a Witch.
What is this? It's very simple. Here is a bruised flower. I am her father. That is your revolver. You are going to shoot me. I am going to shoot you.
Will that be of help?
No. Father knows best.
Also Harvey in 1950, the movie with Jimmy Stewart and his invisible rabbit.
Let him stay with me. Well, Doctor, whatever he wants to do is perfectly all right with me. He knows that.
He played Dr. Chumley. So roughly 16 years living in Australia. So, do I? Yeah. Cecil Kellaway. South African, but is he a citizen? I don't know, just thinking it. Okay, someone mentioned Leo McKern. Who was Leo McKern? He was born in Sydney in 1920. He mainly did British films. I found one American, however, Scent of Mystery. Sorry, Leo. I'm sure you had a great career. If I ever do a video on Australians in the golden age of British movies, maybe. C. Montague Shaw. That's another name. He was born in Adelaide in 1882. These are his films here. He did about 150 films, lots of them, supporting roles. The Mummy.
Know who that is? Miller of Vienna. Really? Always spent his winters here. Authority on Egyptian occult. Yes, but the girl, Helen Grosvenor. Her father's governor of the Sudan. English, of course.
That was with Boris Karloff. Yeah, that's a pretty good career. C. Montague Shaw. Fine. Well done. The names just keep coming. This is ridiculous. Alan Marshall, born in Sydney in 1909. He was doing a play in New York and was discovered by a studio scout. These are his films. Some of these I know, but wow, how...
Want to kiss me goodbye, darling? Thank you.
There's tons of Australians in Hollywood during the Golden Age. He was in Sherlock Holmes in 1939 with Basil Rathbone.
The nose of the police dog, although long and efficient, points in only one direction at a time.
What do you mean?
Simply that you're the obvious suspect.
It's so ridiculous. Why should I want to kill him?
You should know that better than anyone else, Mr. Hunter.
Marshall's career was starting to gain ground in the early 40s, beginning with the supporting role in the hit film The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Why do I do this? Why?
Because you love me. Forever?
Forever's a long time. You forget I'm a soldier and gamble swiftly with life and death. I'm willing to throw my life away for you today.
Alan appeared in the hit film Tom, Dick and Harry with Ginger Rogers. But Marshall had a nervous breakdown in the mid-40s, only to return to film and television in the 1950s. And to some quite quality stuff, mind you.
I've managed to keep this husband of mine fooled so far, so why take the risk of giving myself away?
What makes you think you have him fooled?
Well, I don't know. Have I, darling?
Well, maybe you ought to let Miles hypnotize you. And we'll all find out.
Shall I?
So far tonight, one of us was almost killed by a falling chandelier. One of us was mysteriously slugged. One of us has been driven to the brink of absolute hysteria. And one of us is dead. Were these accidents? Suicide? And we must stay here for 6 more hours.
6 hours? 6 of us.
Died in 1961. Yes, Alan Marshall. Another one. We'll run out of beer at this rate. And still we go on. Victoria Shaw. Who's Victoria Shaw? She was born in 1935 in Sydney. She was in The Phantom Stockman in 1953. Ah, we mentioned that with Chips Rafferty.
I'm stopping here and I'm going to find out who murdered my father.
Now look, Kim, we've been through this a dozen times. Your father wasn't murdered. It was an accident. The police report said so.
The report was wrong.
Oh, listen, Kim.
I will not listen. You're just like everybody else. You won't believe anything I say. I know Dad was murdered. He was dragged to death off my horse with my saddle on it.
Bob Hope convinced her to try her luck in Hollywood while he was touring Australia. Bob Hope. Victoria was in the Eddie Duchin story. The Eddie Duchin story. That's what happens when you have too much beer. In 1956.
I hope your little playmate, Chiquita, enjoyed the doll. It came from a very fine Japanese collection.
It's one of the most beautiful dolls I've ever seen. I'm so very pleased to meet you at last, Mr. Duchin. Welcome home.
Thank you. Eddie, this is Chiquita Wynn. I can see I've been measuring you by the wrong yardstick.
Oh, Westworld, the original with Yul Brynner. She was in that. Fantastic.
I have news.
She would do other Hollywood films before ending up in TV shows. Her actual name was Jeanette Ann Lavina Mary Elizabeth Elphick. That would have been hard to put on a movie poster. No wonder she changed it. Victoria died in 1988 at the age of 53. Another young death. Wow. Victoria Shaw. The last one, I hope I haven't missed anyone, was Frank Hagny, born in Sydney, 1884. He was a heavyweight boxer, then went on to act in a lot of films in the 1920s, 30s and 40s. He was in the Buster Keaton classic, The General, playing a Confederate recruiter. Frank was in a lot of movies. Here you go, these are the films he's in. They were small roles, but doesn't matter. He had a pretty big career. Dancing Lady, The Informer, Modern Times with Charlie Chaplin. Jeez, Adventures of Robin Hood, Dick Tracy Returns, Angels with Dirty Faces. He played Sharpie.
Hey, what's the difference? Those chumps are paying for it.
What is this, a raid? No. Maybe they're going to make a Sunday school out of it.
It was quite a challenge to find Frank in the films I got a hold of. Sometimes his appearances were brief. His filmography would list him as barfly, guy in background, henchman, theatre usher who kicks Lou Costello out of the movie theatre for sobbing too loudly. He also sometimes played a policeman, like this film, On the Town, with Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra and Jules Munchin. Jules Munchin, yeah?
How about the speeding, Mulroney?
As a matter of fact, they weren't doing much over 35.
They were crawling along at a snail's pace.
They were practically going back.
His most famous one was probably from It's a Wonderful Life, where he played a bodyguard for Potter. He was the villain of the story. He pretty much just stood behind him while Jimmy Stewart was getting stuck into Potter.
In the whole vast configuration of things, I'd say you were nothing but a scurvy little spider. And that goes for you, too.
In 1944, he was in 13 movies. 13. 1 year. Frank appeared in films right up to 1967, so that's a massive, massive career. He died in 1973 at the age of 89. Frank Hagny. Absolutely. Good one to end it on. So I'm going to end this with a montage of these amazing Australians that managed to get into Hollywood and get some work. Some a lot, some not so much, but it doesn't matter. It's amazing, a country with such a small population and so many of them in Hollywood, the biggest movie industry in the world, well, was. Don't think Hollywood's going too great lately, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for getting this far. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
The little horse's papa. Isn't that its father?
Well, how can that be? The papa never saw the little horse's father.
I won't go till I get my letter.
I'll be compelled to call the police.
Well, call the police. Call anybody you like. I'm not a criminal. I haven't done anything wrong. Oh. Are you airsick?
No, dear. Somebody put too many olives in my martinis last night.
Shall I get you a bromo?
No, I couldn't stand the noise.
I'll fix you. You keep out of this, you startled.